And the card, Dr. Eli, I hope these flowers are finding you well, da 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 da. Would you mind being my date for the Yule Ball? And it's signed, Thomas.
Did Lilith even meet Thomas? Just the once,
I don't think
right?
you've even met. Yeah, I don't. I mean,
Yeah.
you know him from you. I mean, you would have known him being in school, and then you knew that he eventually withdrew from school, or he's being homeschooled now, or something. But you don't otherwise have much connection to him, no. Because
Are the
every time
flowers
Thomas
in...
appeared on screen in the Fey realm, it's when you were not, right? Like it's like he peeled everybody off of you, right? Like in
Yeah.
those scenes.
Like Lilith kind of saw him, but not really, because of that scene where she was enjoying the company of her jury, and then Thomas wasn't really visible. So
Are the flowers in a vase? Or
yeah. Black glass.
Yes, well, that's what I want to knock off the decks by accident.
Nice.
Is that a shutdown? It might be a shutdown.
Oh yeah,
I think so.
I think so.
Yeah, roll cold.
So that's an 8.
All right, choose one from the list, but you come across poorly, and they give you a condition in return.
I think that's kind of embarrassing, so I think I will put a condition on her, or upsetting, that these flowers have just come and some idiot has knocked them off the thing.
Ellen, do you want to call that angry or upset? Or
I think actually more like obvious. Like it was obvious that I did that. Something like that on me. I tried to be subtle, and it wasn't subtle at all.
Yeah. Transparent.
Yeah. Okay, I put transparent.
That sounds ghostly, right?
Yeah. And then what's my condition?
Angry or more embarrassed that now everybody is staring at you with this card and these flowers.
She doesn't really know Thomas or anything, so I think the embarrassment would be more from the judgment of the people in the class, probably. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Everyone turns while this shatters and is looking at her.
Yeah, and they probably think it was me too, right? So
yeah.
Delivery boy is still there, and he says, I can't replace that vase for free, just so you know, FYI. However, I am supposed to bring your answer back. So are you going to go to the Yule Ball with this guy or not?
I think she's like, sorry, I think I already have a date. It kind of like deflects it right to Sarah.
I think we're doing a shutdown on Thomas remotely, a remote shutdown.
Okay.
Get that roll on the table. I'm going to cut over Jonah. Jonah, where are you at in this scene?
Well, of course, I'm walking in with my buds. Got Tony and Rody right in tow. And yeah, just
Tony's like, are you going to Yule Ball, man?
Yule Ball's so stupid. Fuck Yule Ball.
He's like, yeah, Yule Ball's stupid, but I don't know, like, and he looks at Rhodey and they kind of look at each other and like, that's when the chicks are available, if you know what I mean. They see the lights, they hear the slow music.
And Jonah's like, look, if you just want to get your dick wet, I'm not going to get in your way, but I kind of want to like fuck up Yule Ball.
I'm into that. They're like, what do you have in mind?
I don't know, but I think that it's going to involve a lot of cleanup.
Interesting. I think Ben comes up to you.
And I'm like, oh, Ben, you got something on your shirt. And I point to his shirt, and then when he looks down, I go, boop.
That's not even a shutdown on Ben. That's almost to turn someone on, honestly. And he's like, oh, he's like, you're so funny, Jonah. He's like, hey, so I was wondering, I don't have a date for Yule Ball. And this is not some gay thing. But like, I was wondering if maybe we could all we could all just go as like a crew, right?
Oh, a crew. You want to go with me and the boys? Is that what you're saying?
He's like, well, I just, I was talking to your mom, and she thought it would be really, I don't know, she thought it'd be really great if we all kind of went together. She said I could keep you out of trouble, and he kind of gives you an awkward arm punch.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Yeah. Here, why don't I take this paper and here, I'll write down where we're meeting to get ready for the Yule Ball. And then, so he just takes a piece of paper and he just writes, fuck off on it, and folds it and gives it to Ben.
That's a shutdown. Go ahead.
Okay, I got an 8.
Okay, so you have to choose one from the list, and then you'll also I'll put a condition on you as well.
I don't think Ben has a string on me.
He does not, no.
Okay.
You can gain one on him.
Oh, they can gain a condition?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah,
He's
I
already
think
got the
I'll give
condition try hard.
Oh, that's kind of the same thing. So.
Well, we could just say you re-upped it then, because I was probably going to erase it anyway. So,
Oh, why don't we give him the condition loser?
I'm going to give you the condition a work in progress. You can be fixed. I'm going to cut back to Lilith real briefly before we get back to Marco and just find out what the die result was.
It was a 9, so I think it would make sense if I got a string on him.
String on Thomas? Okay, cool. What message did you send to the delivery boy?
I don't go out with strangers and then also use it as an opportunity to like get an answer from Sarah. And then after he leaves, I'll probably hand out all of those roses to like all the girls in the class too.
You don't go out with strangers. Okay, that's pretty good. Your condition is going to be marked. M-A-R-K-E-D.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So, Margot, I think Austin comes up to you, our drug dealer friend, and he's like, "Hey, Margot."
Hey, Austin.
So I was wondering if you would be interested in going to Yule Ball with me.
What, you're asking one day before Yule Ball? Did you just grow a pair?
No, I'm an entrepreneur, man. I got to take care of my business.
Working hard. Side gigs, I got it.
Yeah, I got to take care of my business. I just haven't had time, you know. I've got something we can light on fire that's a little more interesting than a vlog. Let's just say.
Oh, fuck it, I'll go with you. Sure.
Awesome. All right, so Margot's got a date for Yule Ball. Done. Lilith as friends with Sarah, right?
The thing that happened was basically she misconstrued it and we're friends instead of like.
Yeah, you think it's like a maybe a quasi romantic thing, and she just thinks it's like girls only, like kind of party.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
She might even show up with a whole bunch of other girls, right?
Right. Yeah. Right. Perfect. Ellen, what about Yule Ball?
Maybe there's a girl in another one of the classes who's kind of this earthy, crunchy, popular, so casual, and she has a good-looking boyfriend, and Ellen's kind of been focused on him, but like the earthy, crunchy girl's friends have spotted that and have humiliated me, and this is sort of a cycle of her setting her sights on guys that are attached to other people and getting pushed back, and so she's probably at the tail end of one of those cycles of humiliation. And right now she's just staring at that puddle where the water was in the vase. The glass has been cleaned up. And it's probably even worse when Lilith comes up and puts one of those fucking roses on my desk. And she doesn't mean it.
Was that shade, Lilith, or was that like...
No, I think she was just trying to be nice and make all the girls feel good. You know?
With black roses.
Yeah, well, I don't read it that way.
Because everyone looked, and I think she misconstrued everyone's looks as like, oh, I wish I got roses from a guy too. So then she was like, well,
Right,
everybody
yeah,
gets
yeah.
roses now. Right?
Awesome.
I probably draw in my little notebook, little pictures of me strangling Lilith with her hair, that kind of thing.
Nice. I love it. Jonah, go ahead and frame up your scene. Where you at?
It's lunchtime, right? I like to think that on the school, there's like this old schoolhouse that's like historic, like a Mercy Falls landmark or whatever.
Yeah.
And
there would be, right? Because it's an old camp town, so yeah.
Right. Well, he doesn't give a fuck about that, and he's going behind it, and they're going to graffiti the back of it.
Oh no, it's a world historic preservation thing. Yeah.
Totally. And I think probably going to talk to them about this Yule Ball shit.
Do we want to like have that specific conversation, or like how do you want that to go?
Yeah, we can. This black duffel that I keep my mask in. And I've also now got like a couple cans of spray paint in there. We totally broke into the market store and stole these.
Okay.
I've got one out and I'm like shaking it, and I'm like, this Yule Ball is going to be awful. All the parents are going to be bustling around trying to keep everyone in order. I think that we should like just fuck it all up.
Tony's like doing his little artistic spray paint business, right? And he's like, yeah, I mean, like, maybe we can, like, put something a little extra in the punch. Is that what you mean? Like, I wouldn't mind getting fucked up.
Yeah, obviously we're going to do that. But I was also thinking that, we could also maybe dump, like, some mud on the stage or something. Like, right when they're doing the big
crowning the Yule
crowning.
King, Yule Queen, yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, like a carry thing, right? Like, too bad we can't get a hold of some pig's blood. That'd be pretty awesome. That's what Rhodey says.
Rhodey, we're not just going to be copycats, okay? We have to do something different. Forest, and we can get a bucket, and we can get some mud, and we can throw like some little leaves and twigs and shit in there and just mix it all up, and then just dump it down on them.
You guys are like, you're like, yeah. And I think Tony's like a little more reticent. He's like, the committee's been working really hard on the decorations and stuff. I don't know, it's just not really cool.
It's not really cool. I mean, I thought that you would be totally against this, corporate sanitization Christmas that is just complete bullshit. And, they're just trying to throw this fake celebration that, no one really cares about that shit.
This is probably like a couple of hours after homeroom, right? And you actually see that delivery boy from before with the flowers. You see him like approaching, and you're doing something illegal you're not supposed to be doing. What do you do?
The delivery boy is approaching us?
Yeah. Like he knew where to find you, and he's like approaching you.
Okay. Going to scramble to put away the spray cans and put out our blunts or whatever.
Give me a keep your cool. What are you afraid will happen right now?
This person will see us and, report us to
The cops or whatever.
6.
Awesome. Oh, so Lilith, I didn't mention it, but I want to make sure you marked an XP for your miss earlier.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, go ahead and mark an XP for yours as well. He comes up to you, and he looks absolutely like shaken, like he's really nervous, and his cheek is trembling, and he's like broken out with a sweat pouring down his face, like almost like just like in rivulets, right? He's red, and he says, Thomas is very, very upset with me right now. Very, very upset. He told me to come to you and tell you that he wants you to kill me. And we'll cut right there. Ellen, frame up your scene.
I imagine the weird backdrop, the sort of the silent start to the scene is the lunchroom, where we probably actually see that they don't interact otherwise. I imagine that Ellen and Ben eat lunch together. They're sort of two birds,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And still we probably eat lunch together, and there's maybe some conversation there, but we don't really talk to each other otherwise. But at some point, I imagine that Ellen, because she can, sneaks out into the empty halls, and she is looking for Lilith's locker.
I like that. You can find it, no problem. It just happens to be open, right?
Yes. I want to see what's in her locker. What's her deal?
We'll treat this like a little read a person. Like you can just ask Fraser a couple questions about.
Yeah, Lilith, she opens your locker. What's in there?
You see like her obsession with Serina, right? It's probably like a crime board tracking Serina's whereabouts. A whole bunch of pictures of Serina, and the police report somehow is in there too. And then like sort of stuffed in the corner is the textbook. So it's very predominant that her time and space is being devoted to figuring out what's going on with Serina. Nice.
Garbage
Subtle.
For purposes of the audio, Ellen just
Tore down everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can ask one or two more questions if you want. I'm cool with that.
Is there anything that tells me something about your home life in there?
Maybe my dad has packed lunches for me now, but it's not wherever I am now. For some reason, I'm not eating lunch, even though it's lunchtime, and there's just like the brown paper bag to reinforce this weird ass like body snatcher dad thing going on.
One more question. What is there that actually hints at your Fey nature?
Could be scissors with my, like, some of my hair on it, because one of the things I think we established was that my hair grows really, really fast and I have to cut it like very often. And it's probably even worse now.
Okay, neat.
I'm looking at conditions right now, and I think your transparent condition, I'm going to lean on that a little bit. I think it means that like maybe people are seeing you a little more clearly than you are accustomed to right now. I'm going to lean on that and suggest that there are just a couple of people like wandering into the scene, right? You need to like keep your cool to make it look like you're not rifling through Lilith's stuff right now.
Okay.
What would you be afraid of if like someone told Lilith you were going through her locker?
If Sarah were to see it, that would embarrass Ellen because she's the other cool girl, you know, besides Margot. So I think that would be the person I'd be most worried about that.
Let's go ahead and roll cold.
Okay, so it was a 6 plus 2 is an 8.
On a 7 to 9, the MC will tell you how your actions would leave you vulnerable, and you can choose to back down or go through with it. The scissors, like if you wanted to keep those as evidence like of her fey nature, I think that that's something you could do. But I think in the doing, Sarah specifically might see that taking place.
Oh, no.
Right?
Ellen's a coward.
If you take the scissors, I'll give you a string on.
No, I'll leave that.
Okay.
He wouldn't risk it.
Good. That was a good scene. Margot, what about you?
I think Margot and Austin are heading out to their normal spot to smoke a bowl underneath the football stands.
Nice.
And as we're walking out there, we can see Jonah and his guys painting it at a distance. And then maybe we see that messenger come up and we're just watching, recognize him from in the class. And I just like, nudge Austin, like, hey, isn't that the flower boy?
Yeah, I like that. Then I might hold that thought and go to Lilith real quick.
I had a scene in mind that is probably can fit in whenever, like it's a nebulous time thing, because I want it to be like an awkward bathroom thing that implies that this has happened over and over and over throughout the last couple months, where Lilith and Margot are in the washroom, but we don't like really speak to each other. Like the Forsyth has done her job well. Like she's segregated us and we're already sort of pointed at odds with each other. And just like any other day, it's just silent. We take care of our business. But when Margot is about to walk out, just blurts out and says, you know, we're all that we have.
I like that. Let's see how this situation goes down with Jonah and the thing with the delivery boy, because that might be actually something you and Margaret could talk about, depending on if it goes south, right? So.
Sure. And then I was thinking too, Ellen might even be eavesdropping on it too.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. This delivery boy, he looks absolutely terrified, and he says, "Thomas said you have to kill me, so just get it over with. Just do it. Get it over with. I'm spending one of Thomas's strings. You'll get an XP if you kill this delivery boy."
If I kill him? Is there any way I can use bot loyalty with this delivery boy? Give him a string on me to tempt them to do my bidding.
MC will tell you what sort of bribe, threat, or coaxing it'll take to get that character to do what you want right now. I think it'll work. It'll be a pretty awkward scene because Thomas clearly has some power over him, but I think that's okay. We'll just push forward and see what it looks like. He says, "So just do it. I'm here. So just do it."
Jonah puts on the stag skull mask. And I think he like rips his shirt off, right? Like his tank top or whatever.
Austin is like, "What the fuck?"
He like walks up to this delivery boy and bites his thumb so it starts bleeding, and then he like draws a spiral on the delivery boy's forehead. And he's like, "I want you to relay a message to Thomas for me." Pulls a pocket knife out of his pocket, because of course that would have been easier than biting his thumb. But anyway, he pulls out this pocket knife and he's like, "I want you to go carve in that old house's walls this message. Thomas, you're a fucking forest freak. Leave me the fuck alone."
Per your move, I have to say what sort of bribe, threat, or coaxing it'll take to get them to do that thing. He looks really terrified, and he actually like falls down on his hands and knees, and he says, "Please, I'm begging you. I'm begging you. Kill me right now. I can't go back and face him. I can't. I've already failed him once. I can't go back. If you don't kill me, it's going to be so much worse. So much worse for me. I'll do whatever you say, but you have to promise me. You have to promise me that you'll find me and you'll finish me, because I don't even want to know what he'll do. And he's like freaking out.
I think Jonah like steps back a bit and he just looks at this person. I think he's just going to like backhand him.
Okay. Well, he's on his hands and knees.
Yeah.
You gonna kick him or something, or what?
He like kind of looks away and he's like rubbing his face or whatever, and then he like just turns around and just kicks this guy over. And I think what he does is he like gets down and gets in his face and he's like, "Listen to me, motherfucker. You better be scared of me now, not Thomas. You got it?" Puts his hand on his throat and he's like, "You're going to do what I tell you to, not what Thomas is telling you to do. And you're not going to be scared of Thomas, because I tell you what, you may think he's so scary, but guess what? He's nothing compared to me." And I think then he'll like pick him up and like push him away. And he's like, "You're going to do what I told you to." And he like takes the knife and like throws it at him. "And I'll see you when you're done."
I think it's unclear whether he's going to do that or not, but I think you've made your point. So, Margot, you witnessed all of that at a distance. I don't think you heard what was going on, but I think you saw him falling to his hands and knees, Jonah kicking the shit out of him, all that stuff. Jonah tearing his shirt off and putting the mask on. It was a weird moment. And you know that Jonah gets up to some ritualistic shit anyway, so this all just seems par for the course.
Yep. Margot will actually come over, maybe just as Jonah has kicked the delivery guy. So what's this? Some sort of initiation ritual? What are you boys up to?
And I think the delivery guy like scuttles off like after Jonah's made his threat or whatever.
And Jonah will just take off the mask and he's like, "It's none of your fucking business."
I like you better with that mask, Jonah. Look at your face.
Ooh, that's a shutdown.
8.
Choose one from the list, but you do get a condition from Jonah.
I want to have Jonah lose that string he has on me. I don't like that leverage being out there.
Done and done. What's the condition?
So Jonah looks back at her and he's like, "Oh, please, come on. I know that you are the real ugly one on the inside. You walk around like you're some normal person here. But guess what? You're a freak. A two-faced freak. A monster. So why don't you just get out of here and leave all us normal people alone, all right?" And he says that with complete disregard for what he just said.
No irony whatsoever.
At least I'm not afraid to admit what I am. I don't hide behind a mask. Go ahead and have your fun, boys.
No, you say that, but you know what? You're wearing your mask right now, and I'm not fooled. So fuck off.
So what's the condition called?
Two-faced or something like that, maybe.
Why don't we sit forward then a little bit with that like joint scene between the three women characters? Lilith kind of like having an awkward convo with Margot. This is probably a little bit after that incident. Creeping about, if you wish, Ellen.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe Ellen was about to go into the room, but then overheard our voices and was like, "Oh."
But
right.
no, Ellen, I will push your transparent condition again. You may have to take some affirmative action to drop that condition, because it could be a problem for your MO.
So yeah, like I think this has happened before where we're in the same bathroom, but we don't talk to each other. And Lilith is like, "I don't know what happened that day, but Serina never came back after that." And everyone who remembers or seems to remember what happened isn't talking about it. And we're all we have. Everybody in town acts like nothing ever happened. Is that how you want to act, or do you want to tell me what happened with Serina? And there's like a desperation in her voice in the last few words. And I'm going to spend a string on you to tempt you to tell me what happened.
Look, I don't know what happened to Serina. I will tell you that I think that Sister Mary Edward Price, I think she's the reason Serina and her family are gone. I saw her sharpening a stake, and I like give you the raised eyebrows thing. And she said to me in this vision that she was going to take care of Serina and that I was next. I think maybe she did take care of Serina. I warned her. Maybe Serina and her family left. I don't know which. I can't get hold of her. She's disappeared off of Facebook and Twitter. I have no idea what happened to her, but I think it's that Sister Mary Edward Price either scared her off or did something to her. And then I pass the joint over to you.
I think that Lilith does the coughing fit thing with it, right? And she's like, it sounds to me, with her eyes getting like a little teary from coughing so much, is we should make sure that friends like us stick together. Just when we were coming together, all this stuff went down, and now we're more apart than we've ever been.
Well, I don't know about hand-holding kumbaya stuff, but if you're talking about you'll watch my back, I watch your back, I'm cool with that. Because I don't need that creeper nun coming up on me. I don't trust her. I mean, the whole town is fucking weird. Have you heard anyone say anything about Kyle? Serina?
It's like those kids never even went missing or died or
Mr.
anything.
Thompson. I don't think they talk about that anymore either.
Yeah, my dad's acting super, super weird. He's like parent of the year all of a sudden, and Serena's missing, and things are just all messed up. So I think that we need to stick together.
Are we saying that, like, because of your ghostly abilities, Ellen, you're hearing all of this?
It's that she's actually at the bathroom door.
So other people are seeing you listen, maybe.
Yeah. She falls into these fugue states, so she's there while people are staring at her with her face literally pressed against that bathroom door.
Well, then I'll toss to Ellen. I mean, is there anything you want to do in that scene, like after they have that conversation?
No, I imagine there is that bit when one of them comes out maybe a little more forcefully than Ellen expected, where probably gets the smack in the face from the door, but they don't notice as they leave, even though she's kind of clutching her face and they've
Can we say
moved
that's a
on
harm?
past.
Let's make that a harm. Another great reason to take a proactive action against that condition.
And that was probably Margot who came out, because she doesn't kind of push a door open gently. She just like stomps through everything.
Room that probably hit the nose straight on.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I like Lilith hurries to her locker and she's like, what the fuck happened to my locker? And then it's over.
That's good. I love it. Well, I think this might be a good opportunity to poll the table really quickly and see where we want things to go. I'm cool with fast forwarding past the school day if you want to do that.
I think after school I want to catch Margot and try to convince her to sneak into the sister's house to get some evidence on this chick.
Sister Mary Edward Price has been staying at the Egyptian Palace Hotel and Bar. The Egyptian Palace is something of a historical landmark itself. It's called the Egyptian Palace because the interior decor of the bar area is this really tacky Egyptian tchotchke, kitsch. This is for the whole table. I'd like to know, as the camera pans around, I want to know what you see, each of us, what we see on camera throughout the room, what you see that lets you know why it's called the Egyptian Palace, like it's sort of the kitsch. And then I also want to know what you see that is a reminder that this is still just a joint in a rural logging town in the Pacific Northwest, right?
There's like a gift shop in there that has like all these like cheesy Egyptian palace little keychains and things like that. And then there's like a very small little museum section where they've actually got like some really crappy Egyptian artifacts in there. And then they've got like old Mercy Falls stuff as well.
It's a history of Egypt for some reason, and also Mercy Falls.
Yeah, and it's like very obviously trying to be like a tourist trap.
I imagine there's also a machine from like the 60s or 70s. It's kind of got this bubble. It's big old metal, and it makes these little plastic injection pyramids while you wait. The mold closes and it sprays, and it's super hot, and you get that smell of plastic coming off of it.
Smell,
Then it opens, it scrapes it down, and it's an old mold. It's been doing this for years, so it barely has any texture on it, but it's super hot and burns your hands when you pull it out of the drawer there.
That sounds like the answer to both questions. So
Waiter and waitresses have to have like some novelty costume. The waiter's like, welcome to the Aztec temple where everyone is a pharaoh. What would you like to order today? That kind of thing. And he's got
Why
like the
Aztec
headdress,
temple?
whatever, whatever he says, like whatever the bar is called. And then he has like a pharaoh waiter outfit on, and he's just sort of like dead eyes. I've had enough of my life.
Just like White Kid or whatever, goofy.
Yeah, it's the total King Tut thing, like
Right, yeah.
Steve Martin used to wear. So the historic bar in the historic Egyptian palace bar and hotel, it's got 2 pillars on either side, and those pillars look like a statue of Anubis and Set facing each other into the bar. But you can see that the paint and stuff, it hasn't been maintained for a while, so you can see it's flaking off and just plain plaster underneath, because like the rest of Mercy Falls, it's fake.
Indeed. You would notice that particularly, right, Morgan?
Yeah, for sure. I'm looking for anything to confirm this new worldview uncertainty.
I think it's still probably early in the day. It's not quite the dinner hour. And so the kid, who has to wear his little thing is maybe not, maybe you've seen them before, but like right now they're not waiting on your table. There's an older woman behind the bar who kind of like saw you come in, and like you guys sat down, and she's a fixture of the town. You might imagine a sort of like Jessica Lange, like older woman, faded beauty, but like in her day it was really, something, blonde hair, she dyes it blonde, keeps it blonde. And she comes around and she says, well, are you two just about done? You're not even supposed to be in here, considering that you're underage and this is still a bar.
Yeah, but I thought since I had the Pharaoh burger, I could be in here while I ate that. And I've got some fries left on my plate. I hand one over to Lilith.
We're paying customers, and like Lilith is still high, right? So she giggles and then stifles a giggle, and she thinks everything's hilarious and looks around, and there's like one old guy on a slot. She's like, what?
And this woman, the proprietor of the hotel and bar, I should mention that she's dressed very like 2-piece women's outfit, right? Like skirt and like nice blouse, She says, oh, you young girls, you think you've got everything in the palm of your hands. You think that it's always just going to be Pharaoh burgers and giggles for the rest of your days, don't you? But I've got news for you. Life catches up with you. Hello, listeners. We hope you're enjoying Monsterhearts, Memories of Mercy Falls. As it turns out, there are a number of costs associated with producing pocket-sized play, including various hosting fees, online services like Dropbox, and editing. You can help defray those costs by supporting the Gauntlet on Patreon. A $2 pledge goes a long way toward keeping the lights on at Pocket Size Play, and you won't just be supporting the show. You'll also get exclusive early access to each new Pocket Size Play series in its entirety that we produce. So head over to patreon.com/gauntlet and support this show today. Thanks.